Howdy fellas, it's Jazz. Every Pokemon fan starts their journey somewhere. Whether it be the first Pokemon game that they play, the first episode of the anime they watch, or even their first Pokemon card they collect. Back before scalpers were a problem. But for me, my first ever Pokemon game was Pokemon Gold for the Game Boy Color. Which means my first ever starter was Chikorita. Now, the reason why a lot of people don't like Chikorita isn't because the Pokemon itself is bad, but because of the fact that the first two gyms in Johto are super effective against grass. So obviously, people had a harder time getting through the game with Chikorita. But I think the reason why I chose Chikorita is because the others were just so boring. Yeah, sure, you have the sleepy fire echidna and the water reptile that looks like a mascot for a bowling alley. But then there's Chikorita. If you look at the official art of Chikorita for the Pokédex website, she has so much attitude. Not in the "come at me coppers, I can take you on." More like whenever you're telling a story and an elderly lady says, "Oh, you devil." Now, the problem that I ran into with Meganium's design is that its defining feature, the flower around its neck, is really the only feature it has. If you take away the flower, it just looks like a really weird looking dinosaur. So I was really trying to figure out what kind of clothes I wanted to give her, but then I found these Spanish and Mexican fiesta dresses, with the ruffles going down the chest, and I thought that would be perfect for her clothes. And then I went to the hair, and Meganium doesn't have any hair. She loses the giant leaf in her final stage, so what am I gonna do? See, a problem that I ran into when I was trying to figure out what Pokemon I was gonna draw next was, what about their evolutions? Was I going to do the best looking one? Should I do the final evolution only? Or should I draw all three and make my life a living hell? Well, as soon as I got to the hair, I realized, what's stopping me from just adding aspects from the entire evolution line into one character? So I just collaged my way through the entire design. Meganium's flower in the Spanish style dress. She has hair covering one eye for Bayleaf's leaf. And it's a subtle detail that I actually almost forgot to add, a choker with Chikorita's little neck nubs. Throughout the entire coloring stage, I was trying to figure out why the color palette looked off to me. But then I remembered that, fun fact, I actually had a shiny Chikorita the last time I played a Gen 2 game. So as soon as I changed the color palette to be the shiny version, it looked perfect. I still need to work on how I draw my dresses, because frankly, the multiple bold lines going down her dress just isn't doing it for me. And I don't know what I did. Maybe it was the somewhat messy hair or the fact that I drew her eyelid. But she just looks really tired, and I did not mean to do that. But the good thing about doing this is that I will have plenty of mistakes to learn from so I can improve my art in future drawings. But yeah, I don't have anything else to say for this. And if you want to suggest a Pokemon for me to draw, leave a comment, and I'll consider it. With that being said, my name is Jazz, and until next time, signing off.